You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Let's go. Thoughts can keep you down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't doubt, I sit and I plan, and I found out that I can execute if I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom. Read some books, something written, watch the best. Teach a system I invest, never hidden, I ain't scared. Ain't no chicken, I take dares. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing. You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
Party Pals, GRC Mafia. So right out of the gate here, I know it's a little bit more difficult on vertical like we talked about earlier this week. However, I do have our introduction slide up here. So we're here to break down barriers, foster collaboration and community, working towards a more secure future for everybody. Definitely a learning and growing environment. Now, if you guys would like to, you're more than welcome to come up on stage. It might be a little bit more difficult, but I personally like going up on stages because it's a lot easier than typing all the time. If you do happen to come up, you do not have to turn on your video. You could just run microphone only, but you're not obligated to hop up here at all. I just want to throw that out there as an option. We try to do open stage, open discussion, and so forth. I did drop that in the chat there. Now, YouTube does not allow you to drop links, but you can hop into our Discord server and go over to the live chat channel in order to share other resources, links, and so forth, such as your social media profiles as well. If you want to connect with the rest of the community and so forth, that's like one of the best ways to do it, is to hop into our Discord server. There's also an intros and socials channel for you to introduce yourself and share your socials as well. But yeah, you can post the links and so forth through the live chat channel. I went ahead and dropped that link there. And then also, especially if you do come up on stage, just don't share anything that you don't want to be public. This is a live stream. It's on the internet. If you happen to mess up a little bit there, reach out to me on Discord, LinkedIn, or contact@studygrc.org. And throughout this stream here, I don't know how long we'll go for, but definitely ask questions, share resources. What are you guys working on and so forth? Welcome to the Party Pal and GRC Mafia Cam. I see AMK. Oh my gosh, AMK popping in. I thought I saw Brexy, but he's probably busy. But yeah, GRC Mafia. And then I'll go ahead and drop a couple other links here of some awesome stuff. So B-Dubs goes through and publishes a cybersecurity GRC related article every single Monday, 100% free, no strings attached whatsoever for cybersecurity blog article. That's going in chat. And then we also have PBO as part of the community as well. He goes live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time, talking all about GRC and 853. And then we also have Space Tacos. Space Tacos has an awesome Discord server. It's more of an archive of information. So if you're looking for a particular topic on something, hopping into Space Tacos GRC Audit Treasure Trove and just searching for that particular topic, you're probably going to find something there. Yes, I am sorry, Rania. Yes, I am doing another vertical live stream. I think this one will be a little bit different, but we are still testing out the vertical live streaming itself. But yeah, check out those other resources and so forth. I mean, the more discussions around GRC there is, the better we are. I'm going to go ahead and transition over here, and hopefully it doesn't look too bad. Man, I might make this a little bit smaller. But what I do have up here Oh my gosh, is Nightbot #1 in the leaderboard? I didn't even think that was possible. That's kind of funny. That's a broken part of the YouTube algorithm right there. I'm going to submit that for feedback. I didn't even think about that. So one of the main things I wanted to live stream about, and like I said, definitely drop what you guys are working on. You know, if you guys have any questions or discussions or otherwise, it's not dead set on just this. But let me actually transition. Well, I won't transition over to it, but I'll drop the link to this LinkedIn post. So you guys may remember Ryan Patrick. He is the VP for adoption with HITRUST. And earlier today, he posted an article or a post on LinkedIn talking about how multiple states, Michigan, Nevada, and Wisconsin, have gone through and they're working on either passing bills or acts in regards to information security requirements and so forth, which also involves HITRUST. And 2 of the 3 actually directly mention HITRUST itself. So really, it's a win across the board. Like, HITRUST is neat and everything else, but the key thing I wanted to highlight here is that's 3 separate states that are now working on passing those bills in order to actually enforce, you know, requirements for information security or otherwise, which is definitely a pretty important part. But so that should be the link for that post on LinkedIn if you guys want to check that out. He also provides the actual sources for it as well in his post. And what I did is I went through and I actually loaded all of it in here so you guys can partially see the prompt. You guys probably can't read it. Yeah, probably not read it. But I did a whole prompt on it, asking for it to go through on those documents, research it and everything else. And then what I was planning on doing is actually talking with Grok to try to break down what are some of the different aspects within these bills that are actually relevant to GRC and what it means for, you know, maybe other states that are looking to do the same. So what kind of an impact are we really looking at here? Or is it just snake oil, they're trying to look good kind of thing? I do agree, AMK, I think that is cheating. Unfortunately, there is no way for me to change that. I mean, I could go through and time Nightbot out, but then we would be limiting what it can do. I guess you just got to work harder, Rania. I don't know. I guess you guys are going back and forth every time you send a message. Yeah, I think AMK might have a problem with that, apparently. But yeah, let me go ahead and get this rolling a little bit here. I will watch chat the best that I can, but absolutely no guarantees. If I miss something, definitely bring it back up or remind me. Yeah, I'll actually pull up Discord on the other side. So just like start screaming at me if my microphone goes out again. And I don't know if Brexy's in here. All right. Brexy's on Discord responding to me in general. I refuse to be behind the bot. Well, then it looks like you got to work harder there, Cam. That's what it sounds like to me. Shout out to my home state, Wisconsin. Yeah, did you see this post, Cam? So, yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and start the conversation here. Let me know if it's not loud enough or otherwise, and we'll see how this works out. I did have a couple issues with Grok on voice mode just a little while ago, so might be hit and miss. All right, so that's a really great report that you've provided for me. Now, could you give me a brief rundown of these 3 different bills and what it actually means in the GRC realm?
Got it. Let's break this down quick and clear. I'll give you a short rundown of Michigan HB 4037, Nevada SB 494, and 2025 Wisconsin Act 10, focusing on what they mean for governance, risk, and compliance, in plain terms, like explaining a game plan to a teammate. Michigan HB 4037. This bill sets up a health data utility in Michigan to share medical info securely for better patient care and public health. It's still just introduced. not law yet. For GRC meaning, governance, your organization's leaders need to plan how to join this data sharing network, like picking the right tools for a project. Risks, sharing health data means bigger cyber risks. Think of it like locking your house, but leaving a window open if you're not careful. Compliance, you've got to follow HIPAA and state data rules, or face fines. It's like sticking to traffic laws to avoid a ticket. GRC pros need to get ready to audit data systems now to stay ahead. Nevada SB 494. This one's already passed and creates a new Nevada Health Authority to manage health programs like Medicaid, pulling them out of another department. For GRC meaning, governance, companies working with state health services must align with this new authority's rules, like switching to a new boss with different expectations. Risks, the shift could mess up payments or contracts temporarily, like roadwork slowing down traffic. Compliance, new reporting to the authority is a must, and screwing up could void deals. It's about keeping your paperwork tight.
All right.
GRC folks.
All right, so that's great information, but let's just do one at a time. So go ahead and give me a brief rundown about the Michigan bill.
Let's zoom in on Michigan House Bill 4037, nice and quick, like summarizing a play-by-play. Introduced on January 29, 2025, it's not law yet and aims to create a health data utility run by a nonprofit to share medical info for better patient care and public health. For GRC rundown, governance, your organization's leaders need to decide how to plug into this data sharing system, like choosing the right app for team collaboration. It's about setting clear policies for data use. Risks, sharing health info spikes cyber risks, like leaving your phone unlocked in a crowd. Breaches could hurt your reputation or disrupt care if you're not secure. Compliance, you must stick to HIPAA.
Yeah, that's really great information there, but what is the actual verbiage that is utilized and the requirements as it regards to GRC in this new Michigan bill itself? Like, what does it actually mean? Is it actually putting real requirements for organizations like private entities to implement frameworks for information security or risk management?
Let's dig into the details of Michigan House Bill 4037 and what it's actually saying about GRC requirements, especially for private entities like hospitals or insurers. I'll break it down in plain language, like explaining the rules of a board game, and focus on the specific verbiage and what it means for information security and risk management frameworks. Chapter 40 would feature the GRC of HB 4037, introduced January 29, 2025, amends Michigan's Public Health Code to create a Health Data Utility, HDU, run by a nonprofit health information exchange, HIE. It's still in the introduced stage, not law, so it's more of a proposal right now. The bill's key verbiage relevant to GRC comes from Section 2508, which outlines the HDU's purpose and requirements, plus related sections 2501, 2505, that define roles like the Health Information Technology Commission. Here's the gist of the relevant text, paraphrased for clarity. Purpose and scope. The HDU is a system for secure, trusted exchange of clinical, health, and social determinants data for treatment, care coordination, quality improvement, and public health. It must be interoperable, meaning systems need to talk to each other seamlessly and comply with federal laws like HIPAA and state privacy laws. Data governance requirements. The HDU must have data governance to set standards for sharing health data securely and ensure patient information protections like consent verification. It's also got to support public health goals like disease surveillance while aligning with cybersecurity requirements. Private entity involvement. Private entities, think hospitals, clinics, or insurers that opt into the HDU must integrate their systems with it. They're required to follow the HDU's interoperability and cybersecurity standards, though the bill doesn't mandate participation. It's opt-in for now. State oversight. The Health Information Technology Commission develops a strategic plan by March 1, 2026, to pick a Michigan-based HIE, which will enforce these standards. The bill mentions compliance with applicable state and federal law for cybersecurity, but doesn't name specific frameworks beyond HIPAA.
All right, so that's
Penalties.
really great information, but now could you define HDU in regards to this new Michigan bill that is currently in the works itself? And I'm more interested in finding out exactly what it entails on a particular framework or whether or not private organizations are going to need to actually take action on this.
Let's zero in on the Health Data Utility, or HDU, in Michigan House Bill 4037 and break it down clearly, like explaining the goal of a team project. I'll define what the HDU is based on the bill's language, clarify if it specifies a particular framework, and spell out what private organizations need to do. For more information, I'll explain the C next. What is the HDU in HB 4037? According to Michigan HB 4037, introduced January 29, 2025, and still in the introduced stage, the Health Data Utility, HDU, is a system operated by a nonprofit health information exchange, HIE, to enable the secure, trusted exchange of health-related data. Section 2508 of the bill defines its purpose: to share clinical data like medical records, health information like diagnoses, and social determinants of health like housing or income data for purposes such as treatment, care coordination, quality improvement, public health activities, e.g., disease tracking, and cost utilization analysis. Think of the HDU as a secure digital hub, like a shared online workspace where hospitals, clinics, and public health agencies can access and exchange patient info to improve care, but only if they follow strict rules. For more information, does the HDU specify a particular framework? The bill doesn't mandate a specific framework like NIST, ISO 2701, or GDPR for the HDU's operations, but it's not silent on standards either. The key verbiage says the HDU must ensure interoperability so different systems can work together smoothly, like apps syncing on your phone. Comply with applicable state and federal laws, explicitly naming HIPAA for privacy and security of health information. Implement data governance to set standards for how data is shared, stored, and protected, including patient information protections like verifying consent. Meet cybersecurity requirements set by state law, though it doesn't list specific frameworks or technical standards, e.g., no mention of NIST 800-53 directly. In practice, HIPAA compliance points to frameworks like NIST 800-111 for protecting health data, as it's commonly used
So that's really good information. So what it sounds like is this new Michigan bill that they're trying to pass is basically just requiring for these different health organizations to not only follow HIPAA, but also implement data governance as well. Is there anything in regards to AI or other realms of GRC as well?
You're spot on about Michigan House Bill 4037, pushing health organizations to follow HIPAA and implement data governance. Let's dive into your question about whether HB 4037, still in the introduced stage as of July 17, 2025, touches on AI or other GRC realms beyond data governance and HIPAA. I'll keep it clear and concise, like breaking down the key moves in a strategy game, and stick to the bill's text to avoid speculation. AI in HB 4037. The bill's text, primarily in Section 2508, doesn't explicitly mention artificial intelligence, AI, or machine learning in connection with the Health Data Utility, HDU, or its requirements. It focuses on creating a system for secure, trusted exchange of health data, clinical, health, and social determinants for purposes like treatment, care coordination, and public health. However, the bill's emphasis on quality improvement and cost and utilization analysis opens the door to AI indirectly. These activities often involve data analytics, where AI could be used to process large data sets for insights, like predicting disease trends or optimizing hospital resources. That said, there's no direct requirement for organizations to implement or regulate AI. The bill doesn't mention AI-specific governance, risk, or compliance needs, like ethical AI use or model transparency. If private organizations choose to use AI within the HDU for analytics, they'd still need to comply with the bill's broader mandate.
Yeah, so that's great information as well. Now, I really want to get into this other one for Nevada. So Nevada has SB 494. Let's go ahead and give me a rundown on what that actually entails regarding GRC, how it affects the industry, and what it's really directed towards.
Sure, let's walk through Nevada Senate Bill 494, passed on June 11, 2025, and break it down for GRC implications, industry impact, and its core purpose, keeping it straightforward, like explaining a new rule to a coworker. Rundown of SB 494. Purpose. SB 494 creates the Nevada Health Authority, NHA, a new executive department that takes over health-related duties from the Department of Health and Human Services, DHH. It consolidates programs like Medicaid, public health, and behavioral health under one roof to streamline operations and improve efficiency in managing health services across the state. Think of it as reorganizing a messy office to make everything run smoother. Key provisions: establishes the NHA with a director appointed by the governor, overseeing divisions like Medicaid, public health, and behavioral health. Transfers contracts, funding, and staff from DHH to NHA, ensuring continuity. Sets up new procurement and reporting rules under state law, e.g., NRS 333 for purchasing. Aims to enhance workforce planning and affordability of health coverage. GRC implications. Governance. Organizations working with Nevada's health programs, e.g., hospitals, insurers, or vendors, need to adapt to the NHA's structure.
All right.
This means updating board.
So that's getting on to a really good point. So this bill from Nevada as well is directed directly towards healthcare organizations, right? So that would be like clinics or hospitals or otherwise. Could you give an example of what types of organizations these affect? And then also, why is it so focused on healthcare and not, and I see that they're also implementing a new agency for this oversight, but why not have it broader for other industries as well?
Let's dive into Nevada Senate Bill 494, passed on June 11th, 2025, and address your questions about the types of organizations it affects, why it's so focused on healthcare, and why it creates a new agency without covering other industries. I'll keep it clear and conversational, like chatting through a plan over coffee, using the bill's details in today's context, July 17th, 2025. Types of organizations affected. SB 494 primarily impacts organizations tied to Nevada's state-run health programs. Specific examples include hospitals and clinics. These entities rely on Medicaid reimbursements or public health contracts. They'll need to engage with the new Nevada Health Authority, NHA, for funding, reporting, or program compliance, like submitting patient care data for state oversight. Health insurers. Companies managing Medicaid or state health plans must align with NHA's procurement and contract rules, ensuring they meet new standards for claims processing or coverage. Behavioral health providers. Facilities offering mental health or substance abuse services will report to NHA's Behavioral Health Division, adjusting to new administrative processes. Recognizing healthcare vendors. Organizations supplying medical equipment, IT systems, or services to state health programs must comply with NHA's purchasing rules under NRS 333,
All right.
like bidding for...
Yeah, so that does give some clarification on who it actually involves and affects. But now, could you go into a little bit more detail on why are these bills so focused on the healthcare industry itself, but not a broader context of other industries too? Because I really feel like there is a lack of legal requirements for private entities to have proper information security programs.
You're absolutely right to notice the heavy focus on healthcare in Nevada Senate Bill 494, and it's a great point to question why it doesn't extend to other industries, especially when information security requirements for private entities can feel patchy. Let's unpack why SB 494 zeroes in on healthcare and doesn't broaden to other sectors, while also addressing the gap in legal mandates for info security programs. I'll keep it clear and direct, like explaining a focused strategy to a teammate, using the bill's context and today's lens as of July 17th, 2025 at 09:24 a.m. PDT. Why SB 494 focuses on healthcare. Nevada SB 494, passed on June 11th, 2025, creates the Nevada Health Authority, NHA, to centralize state health programs like Medicaid, public health, and behavioral health, pulling them from the Department of Health and Human Services, DHH. Here's why it's laser-focused on healthcare. 1. Addressing healthcare-specific challenges. Complexity of health services. Healthcare delivery involves sensitive data, e.g., patient records, complex funding, e.g., Medicaid, and urgent public health needs, e.g., disease tracking. The bill's text highlights goals like improving workforce planning and affordability of coverage, which are critical in healthcare due to rising costs and access issues. It's like fixing a leaky pipe in a house. It's urgent because health impacts everyone.
Okay.
State oversight.
All right. So it kind of sounds like these different states may be focused primarily on healthcare, not only because of the high risk demand on it, but also like if we look at the historic over the last several years, healthcare has been hit really hard, like with ransomware and so forth, which is also increasing prices across the board and causing all kinds of havoc. So that is that kind of what it's seeming like here?
You're hitting the nail on the head. Nevada Senate Bill 494's focus on healthcare does seem tied to the industry's high stakes, and your point about ransomware and rising costs in recent years is spot on. Let me connect the dots on why healthcare is getting this attention in SB 494, passed June 11th, 2025, and how it relates to those pressures like ransomware. I'll keep it tight and conversational, like we're piecing together a puzzle over lunch, using the bill's context and today's reality as of July 17th, 2025, 09:26 a.m. PDT. Why healthcare is the focus? SB 494 creates the Nevada Health Authority to streamline state health programs like Medicaid and public health. Here's why healthcare is the star of the show and how ransomware and costs play into it. High-risk industry. Healthcare handles sensitive data. Think patient records with names, diagnoses, and social security numbers. The bill emphasizes secure management of health programs, which aligns with protecting this data. Ransomware attacks, like the 2023 Change Healthcare breach that hit 1 in 3 Americans, have skyrocketed, with hospitals and clinics losing millions or shutting down temporarily. This makes healthcare a prime target for tighter state oversight to prevent disruptions, like locking down a vault after a string of heists. Rising costs and havoc. You're right, ransomware and breaches jack up costs. For example, 2024 data showed healthcare data breach costs averaged $9.7 million per incident, per IBM reports, driving up insurance premiums and patient fees. SB 494's push for efficiency, e.g., consolidating Medicaid under the NHA, aims to cut waste and stabilize costs, indirectly tackling the financial chaos from cyber incidents. It's like reorganizing it.
All right, perfect. Now, moving forward in this conversation, just keep straight to the point on what questions I ask into the context that I'm actually requesting. You're giving way too much information back. So I'm really trying to keep it short and concise just to get the information that we need. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the Wisconsin Act 10. This is another interesting one that also seems to revolve around the same space as the Nevada and the one from Nevada and Michigan.
Got it. I'll keep it short and stick to what you need. On Wisconsin Act 10. It's indeed in the healthcare space, like Nevada SB 494 and Michigan HB 4037. Here's the quick rundown on Act 10, enacted July 2nd, 2025, focusing on what you're asking. What it is. Act 10 creates a statewide online portal for sharing minors' behavioral health safety plans. Think crisis plans for kids with mental health issues, managed by the Department of Health Services. It involves schools, hospitals, and law enforcement sharing plans to prevent crises, with strict HIPAA-compliant privacy rules. Why healthcare focus? Nevada Senate bill targets mental health data for kids, a vulnerable group, where breaches, like recent ransomware spikes in healthcare, could be devastating.
All right,
it's
perfect.
like securing a...
So you've already stated that this Wisconsin bill, so with the other two from Michigan and Nevada, they were really focused on just healthcare, but it looks like this Wisconsin one is a little bit more broad to include other types of industries. Could you go in and just give me a very condensed format of exactly what's required as it pertains to GRC with this Wisconsin Act 10 bill?
I think there might be a mix-up here. The Wisconsin Act 10 we're talking about, enacted July 2, 2025, is actually focused solely on healthcare, specifically youth mental health, not broader industries like the 2011 Act 10 that dealt with public sector employees. Let's clear it up with a condensed rundown of what 2025 Wisconsin Act 10 from Senate Bill 108 requires for governance, risk, and compliance, GRC, sticking to your request for brevity. GRC requirements. Governance. Organizations like hospitals, schools, and law enforcement must establish policies for sharing minors' behavioral health safety plans via a state-run portal. It's like setting up a secure group chat for crisis response. Risk. They need to manage risks of data breaches involving sensitive youth data, ensuring secure access and storage to avoid reputational or legal hits. Compliance. Must comply with HIPAA for confidentiality, use signed consent forms, and maintain audit logs for portal activity. Non-compliance risks state or federal penalties. It applies only to healthcare and related entities, e.g. schools, clinics, handling youth crisis plans, not other industries.
All right, so I just went ahead and muted my mic on the AI side of it. So I find this kind of interesting. So all three of these different bills from Nevada, Michigan and Wisconsin are all 100% focused on the healthcare side of things, putting in such requirements into the actual law. And I think only one of these are actually passed, which is the Wisconsin one, I do believe. The Michigan one and Nevada one are currently in process. But I find it really interesting that they're focusing on just healthcare, and then also all three of these seem to actually state that they have to follow HIPAA, like that wasn't already a requirement. So HIPAA is federal. So that's actually through what is it? HSA or what is that organization? Health Department? Yeah, I completely forget about it. Yeah, HHS, that's what it's called. So HHS, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, I'll drop the link to that website as well. Those are the people who actually regulate and enforce HIPAA itself. And so that's federal. Yeah, and like Regine would be really familiar with this, but I find this really fascinating. So Wisconsin, Nevada, and Michigan are passing state laws on requirements to follow HIPAA, which I find kind of crazy in the first place because they should be anyways from the federal level, but then also adding on some additional details as well to where they have to have like data privacy or not data privacy, but data protection governance implemented and some other different things in the realm of information security on how they handle their data and the governance structure. Yes, exactly, Regine. This is exactly your realm. And that's, yeah, I mean, it's kind of fascinating. And so that's what we're kind of running down is just through these three separate laws. It looks like my mic cut out there for a second, but that's what I was going to say is why would they even have to put this in the law book for the state? I'm assuming so that way to try to enforce it more. And so that way it's not just the federal that would take action on it. But that's also where it gets kind of interesting too, because like I'm no lawyer or anything else, but what's going to happen? Are you going to get penalized from the state and from the federal government if you get caught not following HIPAA? I find that kind of interesting. So, I mean, it's kind of disappointing that they would even have to put that into a state law, but yeah, at least I caught the no audio quick that time. So, but it is a benefit. I do like the fact that these states are going through and actually making requirements, even if it does only pertain to healthcare. I mean, at least it's a step in the right direction. I just wish it was broader in the fact that, manufacturing, what about these data collection companies, even merchants, even shops and things like that and whatnot. There's so many different things that coincide with that. I mean, look at some of these organizations like Walmart that has Bluetooth trackers in their stores and facial recognition. How are they storing and handling that information? So when you have a loyalty account, like I have a loyalty account with Casey's gas stations. How are they protecting my purchase history and my information and so forth? Like there's not really any requirements on that yet. And that's what I'm hoping to see in the future. But I mean, of course it's still a win because they are passing these, or it looks like they're going to. But the Wisconsin one does appear that it went into effect July 2nd, but then the Nevada and Michigan ones appear that they're still pending. So, I mean, we can't be too upset on the fact that it's only healthcare, and healthcare has gotten massively hit over the last few years. Rania also mentions Texas made a state law to make it illegal for kids to have phones and personal electronics during the school day. Yeah, I did. I saw that. I saw that in my news feed a few weeks ago. Yeah. So little different. I am not too sure what you mean by that, Cam. What are your thoughts on this, Regine? Do you, I know that you state that, what were they doing before, especially considering the fact that a large portion of that is, hey, you need to go through and have HIPAA, but you also need to have some type of governance over how you handle data. That's the gist, that's the overall arching thing around it. But, I mean, at least there's going to be something so that way, when there is a data breach of some sort, and, then it comes out that they weren't actually following HIPAA or these best practices that are required, then I mean, that's more for a patient to be able to turn around and say, hey, there's this state law that requires you to do this and you're not. Oh, I had absolutely no idea. Sakani? I've never heard that before, Cam, so I just learned something new. The more you know. Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. I'll go ahead and prompt. So, Rania is curious. Ranya, I think I said it right. Jesus, is curious about enforcement. Regine says, it makes me wonder who was providing oversight of breaches. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see about enforcement. Oh, it did cancel out my voice thing, but that should be okay. All right, so this is all really good information and so forth, but now let's change things up a little bit. So in a short and concise format, could you explain to me, based on these 3 different laws or bills that are coming out from Nevada, Michigan, and this other state, Wisconsin, on exactly like what does the enforcement look across these 3 different ones? What would we be looking at for enforcement and potential penalties?
Here's a short and concise breakdown of enforcement and potential penalties for Nevada SB 494, Michigan HB 4037, and Wisconsin Act 10, focusing strictly on the bill's GRC implications, as requested. Nevada SB 494, passed June 11, 2025. Enforcement. The Nevada Health Authority, NHA, enforces compliance through contract oversight and procurement rules, NRS 333. Healthcare organizations, hospitals, vendors must meet NHA's reporting and operational standards for Medicaid and public health programs. Penalties. Non-compliance risk contract termination or exclusion from state programs. No new fines are specified, but violations of state procurement laws could lead to legal action or financial penalties under existing Nevada statutes. Michigan HB 4037. Introduced. Not yet law. Penalties. If passed, the Health Information Technology Commission and a selected nonprofit health information exchange oversee the Health Data Utility, HDU. Participating organizations, clinics, insurers, must comply with interoperability and cybersecurity standards, including HIPAA. Penalties. If the bill doesn't list specific new penalties, but non-compliance could mean exclusion from the HDU or fines under HIPAA up to $1.5 million annually for violations or state privacy laws if data breaches occur. Wisconsin Act 10, enacted July 2 and acted July 2, 2025. Enforcement. The Department of Health Services enforces the Youth Safety Plan portal, ensuring hospitals, schools, and others follow HIPAA and maintain audit logs and consent forms. Penalties. Violations like unauthorized data sharing could trigger HIPAA fines, either $100 to $50,000 per violation, or state penalties for breaching confidentiality laws, plus potential lawsuits for privacy violations.
All right, so I'm actually asking it to put that into an unordered list here. Let me see here. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, my audio is still on. All right, so I'm just having it put it into a clear list here, and then I'll actually post this in the Discord as well, because it does give us some of the information. So basically, the Nevada one, according to this at least, which, like I said, I mean, this is AI, so it could hallucinate and so forth, but it says that the Nevada one does not actually list anything specific. The Michigan one states up to 1.5 million annually, or penalties under state privacy laws or breaches. And then Wisconsin would be HIPAA violations fined between 150,000 per incident. So this is another realm that I wasn't even considering, but maybe the states are doing this so that way you get 2 penalties. You'd get one from, you know, the health department, but then you'd also get another one from the state. I mean, more money collection maybe. I'm sorry, fines and so forth for violations. Yep, that one. I'll go ahead and copy and paste this over to the GRC discussions chat on Discord, so you guys can also see that for the formatted bulletin list for these penalty potentials. All right. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Find out what it means to me. I just keep forgetting about Wisconsin. I mean, they're okay. I mean, North Dakota's way better in my opinion. I mean, wait, no. North Dakota's horrible. Never come here. Yeah. Yeah, like Regine's saying, that's exactly what I was thinking, is double dipping in penalties. That is an incentive to ensure compliance. True. So it's going to be way more of a reason to follow what you should have already been doing. But at the same time, yeah, I find that interesting. I mean, it is making sense, though. I mean, I'm not hating on any of these. I mean, they're still pushing towards more governance and, you know, enforcement there. So Cam says, no, they aren't trying to make money. This is altruistic. Come on. Oh, I see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they would never try to make more money at all. That'd never happen at all. If I go missing and just disappear off the face of the earth, you know why. But yeah, so I find that a little bit interesting. And that breakdown in Discord, I mean, that's a pretty good rundown right there. If you guys have any other particular questions, like, just go ahead and drop it. I'll go ahead and run it through here and so forth. I think I could even make this entire chat available to anybody as well. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I wanted to go over, is just dig into these a little bit more. And, you know, I feel like I have a little bit better of an idea of it. And I think it was Nevada who is actually implementing a new agency to manage this, to oversight that bill. So, and I guess that would be another reason for like the penalty prices too, especially if they're doing new additional oversight. You can tease him in Discord later. What do you mean? I mean, Wisconsin, I mean, really all I have to say about Wisconsin is I mean, it's not that horrible. Is that where you're from, Cam? Was that like your hometown or something? Well, and so that's also another key thing too, is so like Cam also mentions, sounds like a whole bunch more GRC adjacent rules, in my opinion. That's another factor too. So especially with the states passing these, then hopefully these organizations might need additional assistance. I mean, it's still more discussion. I mean, even if it's in healthcare. Oh, come on. Oh, no. Okay. For a second, I thought my audio went out again. But yeah, that's a really important factor to also think about. So Nevada. There's another resource I wanted to share too in regards to like job hunting with GRC that I came across. But yeah, more discussions, more roles, more, you know, requirements and everything else. Like, yeah, I'm not complaining. I just wish that it was more broad. Like the fact that the United States doesn't have a national, best practices requirement at this point is honestly kind of surprising to me. So other countries have implemented such, and the United States just seems to be a little further back on it, for numerous reasons, because also there's the entire structure with states and then the federal, but still, we have federal regulations already, such as HIPAA. So like, I don't see how it would be that far reached, but yeah. Yeah. And Regine says the exact same thing. Yeah. More GRC opportunity. Yeah. And then, Rothnir is mentioning the swear jar. Hey. I didn't say a single swear word that you heard, especially about Wisconsin. And then, oh yeah, here it is. Cam said that he spent 25 years of his life in Wisconsin. That's not a small, yeah, only 20. Hey, whose side are you on, Rothnir? All right, so also there was this question that I marked from Cam earlier. Do you think there's urgency from states to create policies like this because of the almost decade block of state-led AI laws? Honestly, I mean, I'm not too familiar with it. I can prompt the AI and see what AI has to say about it. That's one of the things I really like about, Grok is that, it's more unlocked. So I can get other opinions and so forth from it. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know about a almost decade long block for state-led AI laws. I know that there was recently a bill that they were trying to pass or include in another bill that would prevent states from making AI laws. But I know for a fact that I think it was Illinois and Colorado, I think they already have AI laws. I believe it's Illinois who has, or maybe it's Iowa. I don't know. I'm all confused today. But there is a state that has AI laws, for an example, that prevents them from utilizing AI for job applications and scanning for such, because there was a huge issue that came about because AI was biased against particular names and so forth. And so they actually enacted a state law for that. And that was like 2 or 3 years back. So, yeah, if you can give me a little bit more information on what you mean by almost decade block of state-led. Maybe you mean because it was frowned upon? Not that they couldn't, but that it was frowned upon, maybe? So, and none of these laws, all 3 of these, none of them actually address AI at all. So, Regine also asks, is Grok better than Gemini? I would say it depends. So I jump around from Grok to Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini. Gemini is the only one that I keep all of the time because it's $20 a month and you get a huge ROI. It really depends on your usage, is what it really comes down to, because each model, it depends on your use case. So like ChatGPT is really awesome for formatting and some of the language that's used and so forth. But then Gemini does a really good job at writing as well. And then also it has all kinds of different features because you get like 2 terabytes of storage. You can make apps, you could make infographics, you can make audio, you get access to NotebookLM and so forth. And so that's why I really stick with Gemini the most, is because for your $20 a month, you get tons of ROI that none of the other models provide you. But I also use Grok as well. And I typically stick around with Grok a little bit at least because Grok is more unlocked. So I can get Grok to play different roles and different characters and so forth, and take different perspectives that other AIs won't do. So because other AIs are so locked down, it doesn't follow the instructions as well. So if I want it to be a particular, data protection analyst or otherwise, Grok handles that a hell of a lot better than these other models. It really depends on use case. I would say Grok isn't really worth it for probably 95% of the users out there. you really got to figure out what your use case is and how you want to use AI, and then kind of tune it into which model is going to work best for you. Like Claude, the only benefit I see with Claude is for programming. So if you're a developer, Claude is great because it integrates with so many tools, and it's really, really good on the score charts for coding. But yeah, it really depends on the use case. Let me double check here. Oh, wow. Rothnir caught up, huh? Cam also mentions it upsets me so much that we don't have a broad data privacy law. Just piecing it every step. Yeah. Yeah, it's really surprising we don't. Ranya's given up. Let's see. Cam said, I just wondered if states are going to start firing off privacy or even tech-based laws after almost getting blocked on the big bill. Oh, I see what you mean. So now that they were threatened in the fact that they wouldn't be able to, now they would go through. Honestly, I don't think it really makes that big of a difference because I don't personally feel so. Because, I mean, they could have done this entire time. They just chose not to. It's just like with these bills. Could they go through and make this apply to every industry? Sure, they could. But are they going to? No. It's all about that money. So who's got the most lawyers to fight it? Let's see. Mine at least wasn't stolen. Oh, I see. I mean, it really depends. I mean, hopefully these states do go through and pass more because we don't have anything on the federal, but I don't think that the bill that they tried to pass to block the states from doing so, I don't personally feel that that necessarily plays an effect. I think there's just more discussion around privacy and data protection now than there was even a year ago. And that was the other tool. Here in a second, once I catch up on chat here, I'll show you guys one more tool that I came across that kind of coincides with that. Yeah, and Rothnir says Gemini is pretty good. I would say Gemini is probably going to work for most people, but it really does depend on your use case. Yeah, and like Regine says, using it to tailor the resume. Yeah, I personally would use Gemini, honestly. It's just so diverse. It has so many different features implemented, and it could easily tailor through your resume as well. I do a lot of like deep research, and I try to make agents, like specialized agents with very long prompts and so forth. And that's why I said that like I like Grok more, because it'll follow the instructions and background that I give it way closer. Cam says it's just tinfoil hat thoughts, like having a proposal of blocking states. Yeah, I mean, that's what it really comes down to, is tinfoil to an extent. But yeah, that's why I said, like, in my opinion, I don't feel that way. But I mean, also, like I've said before, I really don't follow the whole political landscape that well. I mean, hopefully regardless. You guys are like competing for the leaderboard. Yeah, exactly. Great tinfoil hat. Yeah, thanks for popping in, Rothnir. You guys have a great day, and you have a great day, Rothnir. I'm going to stick around for at least a few more minutes, and then we also have our meeting tonight at 6 p.m. So B-Dub's talking about the hacker mindset and how to leverage that. I might play around with this a little bit more, but yeah, typically when we stream at 11, we will typically go through and stick around for about an hour. So I'll give it a few more minutes. Yeah, you guys are competing on the leaderboard and everything else. I think it's great. The leaderboard is something that they just recently implemented, and so I find it interesting. One of the things I don't really like is that it resets every single stream. So that's based off of just this stream, and then you guys are going to lose it after this ends. So I kind of wish it stuck around, like maybe it reset once a month or something like that. I think would be pretty nice. All right, and it looks like we have 4 votes on the poll that we have out as well. So more verticals or no. Half of the people say yes, it works. Half the people say sometimes maybe. So it's something that we're just playing around with. I think maybe we should mix in the vertical streams a couple times a week. But yeah, I mean, I'm not personally sold on it. But if you guys can vote in that poll, we've been trialing out the vertical live streams throughout this week. We'll probably do some more next week as well. And then just take a look at it and figure out, like, is this really something that is a benefit to the community or not? But definitely looking for community feedback on it. A couple of the different pieces of feedback that we did receive was that some people really liked it during their commute. Like I did one on in the morning, like early in the morning. I think it was like 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. But then also people who are just mobile, like some people who are at work, they can't pull it up on their computers, so they just pull it up on their phones. But definitely looking for community feedback on that aspect. And I also added more stuff to our resources page earlier this morning as well. And then also our website has the rest of the different offerings we have as well. So I need to do a better job at like marketing that kind of stuff. Because we also have like the Coffee Mafia I'll talk about at the intro for tonight's meeting, where, you know, literally $0. We don't want anything in exchange or otherwise with Coffee with the Mafia, where you can literally go through, schedule out a one-on-one session with a volunteer. And if they don't know something, if you need assistance with mock projects or road mapping or resources or otherwise, you can go through, book a completely free one-on-one. And then if they don't know something, they can refer you to somebody who does or who should be able to assist you. Just leveraging the community and so forth. So, oh no, David stole your, wow, David just popped in and stole your crown. Wow. Welcome to the party, pal, David. Let me see if I could share this chat. And then there's one other thing I wanted to share before we start bringing this to an end. First of all, I'll post this in Discord as well. But this link here goes to the NotebookLM that I loaded these bills into. So we were looking at Wisconsin, Nevada, and man, why am I having such horrible recall? Wisconsin, Nevada, and what was the third one? Jeez. Why am I forgetting this so badly today? I just spent like the last 2 hours researching these, and I can't even remember the third one. I keep forgetting one of them every time I say it. But anyways, the NotebookLM for those 3 different bills are there. Oh, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nevada. There's the NotebookLM for it, and let me see if I could actually share this conversation as well. I think there's an option on here somewhere. So this link should share the full conversation if you guys want to take a look at that as well. And I can drop these in our Badge Hunters channel as well after this stream. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention too is I dropped this in Golden Finds earlier, yesterday, I believe. But let's see, where is it? Man, I posted quite a few things the other day in Golden Finds, didn't I? All right, so this I posted in Golden Finds the other day. And so this is, oh wow, this is, yeah, see, this is the issue with running vertical streams. All right, so basically you guys aren't going to be able to see it too well, but at least you guys can see a good overview of it. Let's see. Yeah, Wisconsin, yeah. That's some North Dakota bias. Oh gosh. Hey, you should just be happy that I'm even saying it, not just saying that other state. Work and study and head stuff, but I'm making it. Yeah, David, I know you're sick and so forth, so yeah, hopefully you're feeling better. When do you have that CISA scheduled? Hopefully sometime after you're not sick. Oh yeah, no worries. I'll catch you later. GRC Mafia. Thanks for popping in, David. Yeah, so I just wanted to also shout this out before we bring this to an end. So utilizing Google Trends, I just posted the link for that. You can go through, you could search all kinds of different terms. So, maybe you want to see about NIST CSF or ISO or some other particular topic or trends and so forth. If you are a content creator, a lot of content creators also go through and use Google Trends in order to see like what particular terms in their industry or their audience are active. So you can go over to like trending now and so forth. What I have up here and what that link goes to is the term of GRC over a period of time. And you guys should be able to make out at least the chart there on, let me check it. Yeah, so you guys can see the chart on the usage of GRC over the years and so forth. And one of the things I wanted to highlight here is you can also see the interest by state. And what I found really interesting is that the term GRC is most often searched from Kentucky, Virginia, Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin. Those are the top 5. I'm not too sure about Kentucky. Virginia does make sense, especially with the military presence, DOD and so forth. But that's just something I found a little bit interesting. But then you could even break this down. And so North Dakota is not going to be on here, but let's say Wisconsin. So I just went ahead and knocked it down to Wisconsin, and now it's actually literally showing me the areas within Wisconsin that the term GRC is being searched for. And it also tells me like what other things are being searched alongside of it or the related topics. It looks like it's about bowling and GRC SAP products. There's also number 5 is GRC password, but you could do the exact same thing for governance, for an example. And the reason I mention this is because then you can kind of see what the hotspots are for different terms. So if you're looking for a job, for an example, maybe you can go through and see like what organizations are out there or what people are searching for that. So, this is another tool that I would use during the job hunt. And it even tells you like what cities and so forth. So like we know Milwaukee has over 100 a day or something like that. So it's kind of fascinating. I find it interesting to look at. Yeah. Let's see. Let me double check chat again. Oh, no. I would not insult North Dakota that badly. That's hilarious, Cam. I would not go that far. We do not like cheese as much as Wisconsin does. These jumping in halfway, stealing crowns and jumping V. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, David just hopped in, stole your crown, and then dipped. All right, pirates and scavengers, yes. I mean, apparently they get rewarded, apparently. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. I mean, still, Wisconsin being number 5, considering the size of, the population and so forth, it's not... I mean, that's actually really surprising. What concerns me is that there's not bigger states that are on that list. Like California, I would hope would be in the top 5. Texas, I would expect in the top 5, but they're not. So DC is number 6. Let's see. California is number 12. That is concerning. That is very concerning to me. Delaware's 14. Where's Texas on this list? Oh, wow. Texas is way, way down this list. That is actually really surprising. Where is it? I must have missed it. Texas is number 21 on the list. And considering the size of California and Texas, I really expected those to at least be in the top 10. But Michigan is 22, right next to Texas. And I just find it interesting. And like Texas is such a massive state, we can also go in there and take a look at that hot mess as well and see. And so like if I want to, Odessa and Midland, Texas, I can actually click on that area for Odessa and Midland, and then it'll give me an idea of like what people are looking for. So, and then you could change this around, change the term, the period of time, the categories, all kinds of different stuff you guys could do with it. I just wanted to throw that out there. Yes, exactly, Cam. That's one thing I found kind of odd is GRC bowling. But I mean, also to note, North Dakota's not even on that list there either. Yeah, and Google Trends, I mean, a lot of people use it for content creation and so forth, or even businesses for marketing. But I can see leveraging that for job hunting as well, just to narrow down your focus maybe, or get a better idea of what companies are looking for. Let's see. But yeah, so that pretty much rolls that up. So I'll drop these links into the Discord server as well. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Definitely look forward to tonight's meeting. So every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, we have our primary meeting. The first 2 Thursdays of every month, we typically have speakers. This month is 5 Thursdays, so we have 3 this month. Tonight, B-Dubs is going to be talking about the hacker mindset. And then also another reminder is the last Thursday of every single month, we also have our job readiness and group resume review. You guys can go through and submit your redacted resume through our website. So if you hop onto our website, at the very bottom, we have our contact form, and you can submit your redacted resume that way, and that'll get thrown into the mix for our last session of the month for group resume review. Oh yeah, no worries, AB. Thanks for tuning in and so forth. Yeah. So you guys have a great rest of the day. I'll catch you guys tonight. I'll drop those links in Discord. GRC Mafia.